A very ple- a very pleasant good day, my beloved brothers and sisters in Christ and outside the body of Christ. Well, once again, this is your Christian brother Eric Braxton speaking to you all, speaking to you all, speaking to you all from his beloved country, Trinidad and Tobago, the land of my nativity, the land of my birth, Trinidad and Tobago, this wonderful island country that is in the blue Caribbean Sea, in the month of October 2019. Brothers and sisters, I was watching a video about my British brother, Richard Dawkins, full-fledged atheist, and he have produced a book. Well, many books he have produced, but this book particularly, God Delusion. He's saying that that book called Delusion. I just want to say to my dear friend Richard Dawkins, the atheist, I want you to know that that book, God Delusion, is not a decent book. It is not a respectable book. It is a bad book. And that book is not good for humanity. It is not good for mankind. And above all, it is not good for the current new generation that coming into the world, the little children, the leaders of tomorrow, the little children. The little children, my dear friend Richard Dawkins, and all the atheists out there, like Richard Dawkins, they need a Bible to read the little children. By the little children reading the Bible, Richard Dawkins, they will know the fear of God, how to fear God. How to fear God, they will grow up with the fear. Don't you know the Bible say, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. You train up the child, teaching them the laws of God, the commandments of God. They will learn to fear God. And when they learn to fear God, they will not do evil, they will not do wicked things. They will keep the 10 commandments. They will learn to do what is right. At home, in the workplace, at school, and in the nation at large in the world. And anywhere they go, they will be good, godly, righteous boys and girls. So we need the Bible to teach a little children that God exists and God created them and God is the creator because God is real. And that book that you have produced, God Delusion, God is not delusion, neither the universe is delusion, neither the trees, the moon, or the planet, or the birds, or the stars is delusion. These things are real, my dear friend, and these things are perfectly intelligently designed by the supreme designer, God the Father and Jesus Christ. I want you to know that, my dear friend, to all and sundries, to all the atheists out there, my atheist brothers and sisters. Nothing cannot come from nothing. I'm teaching you all that. Everything had to come from something. The cell phone did not come from nothing. The cell phone came from something. The fan did not come from nothing. The fan came from somewhere. From someone make the fan. The car and the train and the aeroplane and the helicopter didn't come from nothing. If someone created the helicopter and the plane, they are called manufacturer design people. They are the manufacturer. They are designer. They are designing and fashioning the helicopter and the birds and the cars and the submarine. These things are designed and made by people, engineers, bright people, university graduates. They study these things. All of you all know that. Well, the same way when you all look at the moon, the stars and the planet and the galaxy, you all want to accept these things come into existence by chance. That these things come out of nothing. No, these things come out of someone, which is God. It is God who created the universe and the planets and the moon, the stars and mankind. Starting from Adam and Eve in the book of Genesis, you already read that. So once again, all my university and all PhD and MA and all of you all with all a bachelor degree and scientists who saying that the universe come out of nothing. No, it come out of someone, and that someone is God. It's time you all learn that. Left, right, and center. And I'm teaching you all that. My dear friend Richard Dawkins and all the atheists and all those your fans who are accepting your book and accepting it lock, stock and barrel, and accepting everything that you have write in the book of God Delusion, they say is true. No, what you have written in that book is not true. What the Bible is saying is true, my dear friend. The little children and the people of the world want to know about the Bible. You have to teach them the Bible. The Bible is a decent, it is a holy and a righteous and a good book. But they talk about good and evil. And they talk about the laws of God and the ways of God, the truth of God, and the purpose God have created the universe and mankind for. My dear friend, everything there's a purpose, brothers and sisters. The book of Ecclesiastic Proverbs, they talk about to everything there's a purpose under the heaven. So the Bible tells us that God created all these things for a purpose. So my dear friend Richard Dawkins, your book, God Illusion, is not a decent book. It is not a good book. It is not a noble book. It is not a godly and a holy and a righteous book. Because that book is denying the existence of God. When the Bible teaches the existence of God. The Bible is a holy book. That's why it marks holy. Bible, that book that you have written, God Illusion, it is not a holy book. It doesn't mark holy on it because it is denying the existence of a holy God when the Bible is teaching us the existence of a holy God. So when you put the two books together, the Bible is the world #1 bestseller. Your book will never become the world bestseller, my dear friend. I want you to know that. So Richard Dawkins, I want you to know once again that God, that book that you have written, God Illusion, is a bad book. But the Bible is a good book, in spite of talk about good and evil, because the Bible tells us about the evil ways of man and the good ways of God. The Bible tells us about God. It tells us about Lucifer, the fallen angels who have become the enemy of God. Yes, they talk about God and Satan, Lucifer, and they tell us about the enemy of God and how we become the enemy of God. Your book doesn't teach that, but the Bible gives us the true facts. So you see, once again, the historical record of the Bible is true. The Bible is not a delusion. The Bible is real. It deals with real account. But it has parables and all these things with a moral story. As a moral story or dealing with reality. And of the four synopsis gospel, the New Testament, the Old Testament. So the Bible is not a delusion. The Bible is real. Your book is called God Illusion. I know you can deny God how much you want. I want you to know at the end of the day, God is real and God is true and God is eternal and everlasting. My dear friend, and all the atheists out there, little children of the world, I want you all to read the Bible and not that book that Richard Dawkins have produced called Illusion. The Bible teaches about God, little boys and girls. I want you to all to accept the Bible and embrace the Bible and reject that book written by Richard Dawkins. That is a bad book. That book is denying the existence of a wonderful creator, little boys and girls. But little boys and girl children, when you all read the scriptures, you all read about all the wonderful creator God who bring you all into existence for a purpose, little boys and girls. So little boys and girls, if only mommy and daddy buy that book and introduce it to you all, written by Richard Dawkins, please reject that book and tell mommy and daddy, read to me in the book of Genesis where God created the moon and the stars. I want to know about the wonderful animals that Noah carried, went in the ark when the flood came. Yes, I want you all, mommy and daddy, when the little children of Israel, when all the sons and daughters ask you all to read to you all from the Bible, the holy words of God, the King James Bible, about the wonderful animals they want to hear that God created, that God put in the ark and how we take care of them during the flood. I want you all, do not deny the little children, but read that book. Read the story, the true story that happened to all the little children, sons and daughters. Yes, because they have to know about the Bible, the words of God. But that book that you all have buy from Richard Dawkins, who deny the existence of God, you all want to read that to all the little children for them to grow up without the fear of God? Because when you all read that book to the little children, what Richard Dawkins is saying there is no God. Saying there is no God. And saying there is no God. All the little boys and girls will not grow up in the fear of God. All the little boys and girls will grow up rebellious, and they will turn against you all parents and start to beat you all and start to disrespect you all right in all your home. But when all they read the words of God to the children, they will know about the fear of God, and they will have respect for all their parents. They will have respect for all their fathers and mothers. Your Lord sons and daughters will have respect for you all. So parents, what you all want to read the stories to the little children, so the little children will grow up having respect to you all, and they'll grow up as decent, righteous boys and girls in all your home and respected in the community. And you all will say, this is my children that grew up in the fear of the Lord, by reading the Bible to them and telling them the things of God? Or do you all want to reject the Bible and take up Richard Dawkins' book and read it to them, telling them that God doesn't exist because he teaches God doesn't exist? That is the book you all want to read to all the little children? So when they grow up, they will have no respect to you all. They will beat you all and fight against you all in all your house and tell you all there is no God, and they will, because they will not know fear God in you, in them. And then they will be rebellious boys and girls, not only to you all, but to the whole of the community and all the nations, to the whole community and the nation. And they will come out whores and criminals and murderers. This is what you all want all the little children to come out? By not giving them the Bible to read, but giving them Richard Dawkins books to read. So they will grow up with a philosophy of rebellion, a philosophy saying that God doesn't exist. Is this what you all want to teach all the little children? Well, if this is a road that you all want to go down, I want to tell you all that if you all want to teach all the little children that, they will not come out godly, righteous little children, and they will not come out good parents. So parents, mothers and fathers, you all have a choice to make. So I pray and I hope you all do the right choice and do not go and get that book. And buy that book and read it to all the children and telling them God doesn't exist. God is a delusion. Take up the Holy Bible and take your sons and daughters and read to them where Jesus Christ said unto them, said unto the little children in the scriptures, suffer little children to come unto me and forbid them not, for such is of the kingdom of heaven. And the children will glad to know that Jesus Christ told his disciples, do not reject the little children, but welcome to me, because he loved the little children of the world. Because children that came to Jesus Christ, and the disciples chased away the children. But when Jesus Christ that he tell the disciples, do not chase away the children, suffer the little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for such is of the kingdom of heaven. And he rests his hands upon the children and bless them, and he sent them away blessed. But you know what the disciples and them failed to recognize? When the little children, they came to Jesus Christ to see Jesus Christ, the disciples forget, all the disciples forget that they too was little children like these children. And that's why Christ called the little children and bless them, to remind the disciples, you all are big men now, but you all was just like them too. You see, Jesus Christ taught the little children, taught the disciples that. And when he blessed the children and sent the children away, I want you all to know that all the disciples, they learned that lesson perfectly well, because all the disciples are now reflect back and say, but wait a minute, you know what Jesus Christ said was true. Look, he blessed the children and sent them away. But we are grown men too. But we was just like them. And if we was small like them and come to Jesus, we would not want nobody to chase us away as we are chasing them now. But they did not recognize that at the first instant. But after a while, they come to that reality, to that understanding. You all catch the point? Fine. Catch it, hold on tight it, and do not let it go. So read the Bible to all the little children, my dear friend. So shalom peace, I'm signing off. Shalom peace, see you all in the next video soon. Bye bye, my friends.